Okay guys, we're going to do a quick video demonstration on how to set up your dimensions in AutoCAD. So we're going to do a dimension style manager tutorial. Start off from basic. We're starting from nothing. So I'm going to open up AutoCAD. I have no drawing, nothing. I'm just opening it up. Okay. Now you should have your startup wizard in place. It should prompt you here. It may look like this. I don't know where you're going to be seeing, but wherever you're at, come over to this fourth option here and let's do a quick setup. Hit OK. We're working on architectural floor plans, so let's go ahead and select architectural here, and let's change this our limits to 1000, 1000, just so we know we're going to be good. And so change those to 1000, 1000 and hit finish. Okay. Now I've got a blank canvas. I don't have anything going. You might have your drawing already open. You should have already set that up to start your floor plan. But just in case you haven't, I want you to see what to do. So from here, I've got all I've said is my units. What kind of drawing I want to have. So, and I've set my limits. So now what I want to do is, before I do anything else, I want to set up my my tools down here. So I'm going to go and I'm going to turn off grid. I'm going to turn off everything that I'm not going to use. So, and what I'm going to turn on is ortho. Well, for some reason, there we go. Okay, for some reason it wasn't letting me select. But so I'm going to make sure I have ortho on and OSnap. Those are the two. That's all I need right now. You may want more, but that's just my preference. So the next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and draw a line, and I want to draw a line that is 20 foot long. All right. Now it's huge because I'm zoomed in. I'm going to use my wheel on my mouse. I'm going to double click to zoom out to where I can see all of it. So double click my wheel. Now I can see the entire length of the line. So from here I'm going to do a dimension from endpoint to endpoint, and look and see, this is my default dimension style. This is what's set up when you first open a drawing, and you see a bunch of stuff's going on here. The text itself is not. That's not what I want. I want feet and inches where it's an architectural drawing. I can't see it. It's too small. I don't see my arrowheads or my ticks. The spacing here is not going to show up when we plot it to scale. So I got to fix a bunch of stuff in my dimension style. And I just wanted to give you a quick refresher on how to do that. So one way, there's two ways to get to Dimension Style Manager. That's where we need to go. The first is, you can make sure your ribbon is at home. Come over here to the annotation pull down, go down to Dimension Style and click that. What that's going to do, that's going to take you straight to your Dimension Style Manager. The other way, if you like to type, you can just type DIMSTYLE, hit enter, and it's automatically going to bring you there as well. So either way you want to get there is fine. But just get here. You're going to see that you're on standard. You're on the current dimension style is standard. So we want to modify that. So let's hit modify. We're on tolerances now. Let's just start at the beginning. Go to lines. So I know that on a residential floor plan or residential drawing, the standard scale is 1/4 of an inch is equal to 1 foot 0 inches, and what that means is my scale factor is 48, so we're shrinking this drawing down 48 times to make it fit and be legible on paper. Well, what that also means is I know my standard text size is between a 1/16 of an inch and an 1/8 of an inch. Well, if I plot something in the drawing at a 1/16 of an inch, when I print it, I'm scaling it down 48 times. So a 1/16 of an inch or an 1/8 of an inch shrunk down 48 times becomes invisible. It becomes a dot. So what I have to figure out is because of my scale factor, I know when plotted, I like a 1/16 of an inch text. So I know that blowing a 1/16 of an inch up 48 times, I end up with a text height or a text size of 3 inches. So, and that's just doing some figuring. We can do another video later on how to figure all that out and how to set up your scale factor and text height sizes. But for now, just know that a residential drawing, if you want your text height to be a 1/16 of an inch when plotted, you need to use 3 inches in all of this stuff. So I'm just going to come over here in my lines, and I'm going to start changing a few things. So my baseline spacing, I want 3 inches. So I'm going to change it there. My extend beyond my dimension lines, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to change that to 3. My offset from origin, I'm going to change that to 3. And don't worry about this. This is going to start looking crazy, but it'll fix at the end. So that's the 3 things you need to change here. Go to symbols and arrows. I like, because it's architecture, I like to switch this to an architectural tick. And that's for my dimension. Any leaders, I like to point, so I'm going to leave that the same. And those are preferences. You may find that you like arrowheads, you might like ticks, whatever you like best, you can use. So I'm going to change my arrowhead size here as well. So it needs to be a 3 inches. I don't need a center mark. If I have a circle, I'm gonna create my own center line, so I'm going to turn that off. My break size, dimension break size, it needs to be 3 as well. I'm not going to worry about any of this. We go to text, change my text height to 3 inches. That way when plotted it will be a 1/16 of an inch. And I like this ISO standard, my text alignment. That way it keeps everything correct. My offset from dimension is going to be 3 inches. Fit everything. It looks good. You can play around with that if you want, but I like default is fine for now. Primary units, let's go ahead and change that to architectural. Precision, I'm gonna keep at a 1/16 of an inch because that's all we need. And I like not stacked because when they're stacked, it actually shrinks that, and I know that I want it to be a 1/16 of an inch. So if they're stacked, you actually lose some of that precision. So I'm going to do not stacked, and alternate units is fine. So that looks good. So I'm going to hit OK. Now this is set up. Go ahead and, especially if you have dimensions already, go ahead and hit set current, and it should update that and close. Now look at that dimension compared to before. The great thing about this is now if plotting this, if I plot this at a 1/4 inch equals a foot scale, whenever you see this drawing or this dimension, you can measure it, and that is going to be a 1/16 of an inch text size, and that's when plotted.